All right, today we are checking out a couple new Civivi models. Now stay tuned for this one. This is a banger. Now this is a new budget model from Civivi. Civivi models are, considered budget knives, but they're very good quality budget knives. And I really like this. It's almost like a spear point and a harpoon, or not harpoon, a spear point and a bayonet blade shape mixed into one. I really, really like it. I've actually been carrying this for about 3-4 days now, straight too. And I've already sharpened it. And yeah, it's looking really good. I actually did a quick short on me sharpening it on the Work Sharp Field Sharpener, which is right here. This is by far my most recommended sharpening device because as far as, like for edge maintenance and in the field and things like that, not for like a fixed angle knife sharpening system or anything, but it has everything you need. 2 diamond plates, a ceramic rod that you can spin right here to have a coarse, a fine, and then a spot for fish hooks, serrations. The angles are built in. It's got a strop. I replaced my strop already because I've had this for a few years. And look at my diamonds are still working. I've had it for a few years and these are still working. So awesome, awesome system. Can't recommend this enough. Everybody should have one of those. Now, back to this 14C 28M blade steel. Love that blade steel. It does have a hollow grind here and the swedge is a hollow. G10 scales with really nice texturing. Deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws. Love to see that. Lots of weight relieving, and it is a button lock. Now, button locks, it's kind of weird because the plunge style button lock, which is what this one is, with a lot of companies, I kind of am on the fence about whether or not I think they should be using them or not. Not when it comes to Civivi, WE, or Suncut. They have absolutely figured out the lock face geometry, and every other company should take notes because this thing is a damn vault. It is rock solid. I've spine whacked it. I've done that with 20, 30 other of their models. All of them are rock solid, even the ones that I've tested. Like even the KUBEY, which I've literally dropped from 9 feet, like 6 times and slid it across concrete and beat the hell out of it, is still as solid as it could be. It's crazy. Then you have other companies which you'll open it up 3 or 4 times and it'll literally start getting up and down play. So it's just all about the geometry, and these guys got it down pat. But yeah, awesome knife. The one thing I dislike is that fuller, which is cool, it looks really cool, but I hate that I can't use it. However, I can still flick off of the friction or the texture of the blade. So I can technically still flick it. And if you wanted to, you could add a quick stud right here, which is just an aftermarket thumb stud that you can put on pretty much every knife. As long as I think it's under 130 thousandths thick or something like that, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but you can put them on a lot of knives. But yeah, I wish I could had better access to that fuller. Sharp control and plunge grind. You can see when I sharpened it, I did kind of hit this a little bit. I think that was more my fault than their fault, as the plunge grind ends like right there. So they did give me a little bit of room to sharpen off. I typically want a little bit more, but this is just fine. The one thing I will say is I'm about sick and tired of the stop pin placements back here. Look at that. I've already sharpened it 1 time, and look at how close already I am to this thing not being able to close. This is almost a deal breaker. Now, the reason why it's not a deal breaker in this case is because that is still quite a bit of life. That's going to be 5 sharpenings probably before I get to there, if I can properly sharpen it, which is a lot of steel, and I think by then I would have gotten my money out of it. So depending on how much you're using a knife and so on and so on. But yeah, it does suck, man. They need to stop putting the stop pins right there. It just doesn't make sense. I need that steel to be able to remove. And like I said, that is quite a bit of steel. So it's just something that they could totally fix. Let's get to this next one, which is the Cloud Peak. And this guy, my goodness, they did a good job on this one. I took off the lanyard. It does come with a lanyard, but nice leather sheath, good quality, nice stitching, nice and thick, smells really good, nice thick, good quality leather. I'm happy about that. And they did cover up the buttons right here with a piece of leather. Now, My goodness, does this thing have balance? And this thing is one of the most well-balanced knives I have right now. And I mean, like, literally, it is so well balanced. It feels very natural in the hand. Now, it does have smooth G10. There is a smooth G10, there's a wood one, and then I think a green G10 or something like that. Don't quote me, but there's 3 different versions. This is a very smooth, polished G10, which I think is very comfortable, but you know, it can be, it's not slippery, don't get me wrong. It's got that thickness and that width where you can stop it from spinning. But if you like something with a lot of texture or a lot of grit, then it might not be up your alley. But this is something that, one, it will, the more you use it, the more you're gonna kind of make it like that. And then if you wanted to, you could literally just scuff it up with some sandpaper or not, because like I said, man, I have no issues with it at all. I freaking dig this thing. The blade steel is Nitro V, which I love to see on a knife like this. Nitro V's toughness is like almost as high as you can get. Like, it is one of the toughest steels, especially for a stainless steel. Holds a really good edge, very similar to 14C28N, and it makes it to where this is a steel that, one, is going to be very easy to sharpen out in the field, very easy to keep sharp, very easy to get sharp, and it's going to be very tough. So it is a full tang construction, as you can see. It does have the lanyard thing back there. We have 3 pins right here, and it is mega comfortable in the hand. The spine is not very sharp. It's a little sharp. I could probably strike a fire with it, but I wouldn't. I'd want to flatten it out a little bit if I was going to use it for that purpose. Sheath, again, great sheath. You know, as long as, if you like leather sheaths, this is a good one. The buckle snaps really good. Feels like a decent quality buckle. Retention, you know, it's a leather sheath. This one doesn't have like a crazy amount of retention, but you know, it's fine. It's damn good. And I love how they did the sharp control and plunge grind right there. This is a banger. This is one of my favorite Civivi fixed blades that they've done right now. Granted, I haven't had a ton of their fixed blades, but the Civivi Elementum fixed blade I really like. I don't have one in the collection. I wish I did, but I don't. But this guy right here is a little bit more of an outdoorsy. I think the Elementum is going to be a little bit leaning more towards tactical, while, you know, also being obviously a versatile cutting tool. This is going to be great for outdoors. This is a great camp knife, great hunting knife, great fishing knife, great outdoors knife. And I think that the smoothness of the G10 isn't going to bother many people because of the thickness that it offers. When you have the right amount of thickness and the right amount of width, you get so much squeeze, so much leverage onto the knife that it doesn't spin like it would, you know, if it was, you know, a different thickness. So I personally don't have any issues with it. They, you know, and a lot of people really like the smooth texture. You know, it looks a little bit more refined, you know, a little more, you know, it just looks a little more refined. And like I said, the more you handle it and the older it gets, the more that's going to get grippy. So as far as negatives, I really don't have any, because the little things that you could say you know, maybe want a little texture here, here, and here, you know, that's going to be, you know, whether you want that or not. I think it's just fine. I really don't have many or any negatives. You know, I thought there was an imperfection right there, but then I noticed it's the same way on both sides. I've went through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. Granted, I have not pounded it through any wood yet, and I will, but I have not yet. This is just the first impressions. However, I have no doubt that it won't be able to do that. And it has, in my opinion, the perfect geometry for an outdoors versatile knife. This is slicey enough where you can, you know what, in fact, let's check the thickness behind the edge. Yeah, 19 thousandths behind the edge. That's literally a perfect thickness behind the edge for a fixed blade like this. It is nice and thin behind the edge, nice and slicey, nice broad blade. The blade stock thickness is not super thick, 140 thousandths, 145 thousandths, especially with this broad of a blade. That's great. This can pound through. You can definitely baton with it. You can definitely be tough on it, but it's slicey enough to where you can skin with it. You can break down food or do any type of food prep or anything like that. It's literally a perfect size knife for outdoors, where you can be tough on it because it's big enough, but you can also, it's also small enough to where you can do the little fine duty tasks. I personally like it a lot. Like I said, really no complaints. I would have loved to have seen it come with a Kydex sheath as well. But anyways, there you guys go. Just a quick look at some new pocket knives. If you guys like this type of content, I'm going to put some more videos on the screen for you to click on. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.